Hi guys, and welcome back to Crazy G's YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a build in the Vandy Vape Revolver. A lot of people have a few issues with RTAs getting them whipped correctly. This one I used to have a lot of problems with, but it seems to have mastered it now. So we're going to do a build today, as I say, on a Vandy Vape Revolver. Going to be using a coil I've built with some Steam Shark alien wire, and we're going to wick it up with some of the stuff that I've just started using, the new, well, not so new now, but the Vapefly firebolt cotton. I love this stuff. Very, very absorbent, very, very fluffy. Great bit of cotton to wick with. So let's get straight down to the build and let's see what we can do with this thing. So let's just pop it open and get ready to build on. I'm going to be using my good old drag today to build this on. Always build these on a regulated mod. There he is. I'm not going to really do a review of the Revolver. I know it's been done many a times, but just a quick overview if any of you haven't seen it. The reason it's called Revolver, it's got this adjustable airflow at the bottom for the airflow. Let me quickly show you the different ones we can get on it. Let me grab my screwdriver for you guys. So we've got these 3 staggered lines, which is one I seem to get on with the best. We've also got the 2 lines, and you've got the honeycomb. Honeycomb is what I was using to start with. It is probably one of the tighter airflows to give you the tighter draw. But I personally like my air wide open on this Revolver, and then we can then adjust the airflow through the bottom adjustment. Just makes it a bit easier. My biggest pet hate with the Revolver, to be able to adjust this, you have to take all the tank off. I'm not a fan of that. You build it up, you fill it with liquid. If you then want to adjust this airflow so it's not to your taste, you either got to let all the liquid completely get used up or drain the liquid. Little bit annoying. I reckon this should have been a feature that was done on the outside of the tanks. You could change it while it was all built, so you haven't got to take the juice out. But maybe we'll see that at a later version of this if they do bring something else out. So let's get the build popped in here now. Let's just open him up. Got the coil here I've already done. Let's get him fed in there. Definitely not one of the easiest to build on this Revolver. Not the nicest of all gaps. But once you've got it built right, it's a beautiful RTA to use. So we're going to feed him in one hole, him in the other hole. And what you want to do is grab yourself a jig. This is a 2.5 coil I've put in here. I like these coils nice and tight. Just give him a push so he's in the centre of that airflow, or near enough centre, and give him a little bit of a tighten down. Sort that pin out so I'm doing a bit tighter. One thing on here I do like is the screw on top. You can either use a flathead or a Phillips. I always prefer to use a Phillips. I tend to find the heads last a bit longer. He's about right, saying that you might could do with going back just a little bit further. Oh, pop him open. Push it back in there a little bit more. There you go. He's about centre now. Put a nice little tighten up, and then with your jig, just straighten him out. Get him in line, and you want him as close to that bottom airflow as we could possibly get him, without it obviously touching, because it would cause a short if it was touching. That's looking quite good to me. Quite nice on top. Give him another little tighten down. And let's get ourselves some snips. Watch your eyes also when doing this. Snip. My missus hates me for this. She finds little bits of wire all around the house. no matter how careful you are with these. The amount of times I put my finger there to try and stop it going anywhere and it's just fired in my finger. Not advisable. Got one stuck the other day. It hurt like hell. So he's looking in place quite nicely. New coil, yes. Drop him down to about 30 just to burn him off. Before we burn him off, one last little tighten up. Make sure he's nice and tight. Let's get all that gunk and all that crap off of him. Get himself some tweezers. These are burn easy, so you give them a pinch together, and the little strum. So got the middle there that isn't playing ball with me. Let's get him nice and hot. It's looking better. And he's nearly there. There we go, very nice and even. So let him cool himself down a little bit. So now here comes the tricky bit, the wicking of RTA. Just gonna make sure he's still nice and straight in there. Yep. Pop him off. So this next bit is what a lot of people struggle with RTAs. It's getting the right amount of wick down into these wells. You have only got to make sure that a tiny little bit's coming down. Again, if you've watched my my build on the profile, I do what they call the pancake method, where you fluff it all out, make it nice and flat, and then you tuck the bottom half in. That's exactly what I'm going to do here. You only want a tiny little bit of wick actually coming down into this bottom of the juice well. Enough just to catch that liquid and start bringing it back up. So I'm going to show you how I do it and how I've successfully done it. A lot of the builds I've done with this when I was starting out with this RTA were very, very muted. The flavours were very, very bland, didn't get on with it at all. Since learning the wicking of it and really persevering with the wicking, that's what's made the difference. Flavour I can get on this now is incredible. So he should be nice and cool now. So I said I got some of my firebolt cotton here. As you can see, this stuff is super fluffy, absolutely great. So we're going to pop him through. And these shoelaces are ideal on these 2.5 builds. Got just the right tightness to get him through. Back and forth, so make sure it's really nice and tight in there. And then let's get these snips to start trimming off. So I took a bit out of the camera shot there, haven't I? So this is where we've got to make sure we get it right. So first off, I'm going to snip off that shoelace end and a bit up here. It's still going to be a little bit long for what we need, but it's just to make it a bit easier to work with. So I say we want it to go down to here. So I tend to go by the rule when doing these. Trying to rest your scissors on the black O-ring down here, bring the cotton down and give it a trim from there. So I wasn't a million miles off then. Take that a little bit more off. And again, sitting on that black O-ring, pull your cotton down, give them a trim. So I shortened them out a little bit more. Give these a little bit of a fluff out. One good thing with this firebolt cotton, you haven't really got to fluff it out a massive amount. It's fluffy as it is, but definitely with the RTA, it's worth fluffing these out a little bit. Trim off some of the excess. And what I do from here is now start fluffing him push him down. Yeah, I think he's going to be just about right. So I'm going to start fluffing him up, getting rid of the top half. There you go. Nice and fluffy. I'm just going to try and tease in some of these bottom bits into that well. And so you don't want this well compact at all. And you want just showing through. So you just want some of this bottom cotton coming through, and you'll start to see the cotton coming through the bottom there. As I say, you want to keep this not compact at all. So as you see, I've only really put a little bit at the bottom of it in, and he's sitting in there quite nicely. I normally give him a little push back. We'll do the same on the other side. These bottom bits. Oh. Bottom bits into the well. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there's little bits coming through there now. Oh, pops it back out. A little bit more there. A bit more there. That is most of that bottom lot of coil. Just going to push that bit in as well. So you see there we've got a bit of cotton dangling through the bottom. Most of this still out nicely. That's how I personally do it. Same on that side, a little bit in there. This will fluffen out. And what I do, fluffing back down, fluffing back down, and then start trimming that off. So again, from here, I now use this as a guide to go round and snip. So you really don't need that much cotton in the revolver to get the beautiful flavour. Always make sure they're in there nicely still. Push them down. As I said, follow this inner ring and just give them a good snip, snip, snip. Same on the other side, inner ring, snip, snip, snip. You can see you're not left with a massive amount of cotton there. A bit fluffy, but not enough. Because what you don't want to do is when you're putting this tank down, screwing this tank onto here, last thing you want is to be trapping cotton in it. So I'm just going to go around one more time, make sure there's enough off there. Snip, 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 snip. Bit might come off that side. There we go. That to me looks pretty good. Make sure there's some still in the wells, some in the well there, some in the well there. Happy days. Now we need to juice them up a little bit. Prime them up, get some of that cotton down and out of the way so it's not going to catch on the barrel as we start pushing it on. So I forgot to say what I'm using today. Today I'm using my favourite Pancake Man. I love this stuff. If you do want to try it, you do need a bit of a sweet tooth. It is a very sweet liquid. I do go through wicks quite drastically with this, but to me it's worth it. A little dollop on there. You only want a little bit just to start off on these wicks on the end, just so you can start playing around with them and start making them a bit neater on there. So a little bit more. A bit more over that coil. Oh, excuse me, guys. Alright, that's looking good now. So we're getting pushed onto there. Try and get him out of the way. Where that tank's going to be sitting. It's looking nice. Same on this side. Just push him so he's sat on top of that well. If you do think you've got a tiny little bit more space in that well, by all means push a little bit more into it, but you do not want that well compact. It's the last thing you want. it sit down there nicely. So I'm happy that is off that spiral. What I normally do is just put a tiny little bit of juice on the bottom, just to prime him and get him started. Tiny little bit of juice on that bottom. And I'm just going to drop a little bit more just on there, just to make sure he is soaked through nicely. Beautiful. So a little bit more hanging over there, drawn out of the way. Beautiful. He's ready for the tank to be screwed on. Now some people, including myself, do have a little bit of fun getting the tank on sometimes, because you have got to get him nice and flush. One thing you've always got to make sure on these is make sure, so if I can zoom in for you guys a little bit so you can see, got to make sure these legs that you've cut off are flush to this. If they stick out even by a couple of millimeters, you find this tank will catch on them and you're going to get yourself a short. So you want to make sure they are cut back really, really tight. Make sure you're using the back ends of your clippers and really get in there and clip them off. I say if they are sticking out, you will get a short, which is the last thing you want. So let's see if we can get this one on first time. It's not bad going. Now let's just pop him off the mod itself. Try and give him a nice tighten up before we get going with him. Nice and tight, so you got that vacuum lock on him. Airflow shut to start him off. And then fill him up. Nice and full. What you want to do now, you just want to leave him for about 3 or 4 minutes, just to really soak that juice into that wick, get that wick nice and juiced up. I would advise keeping the airflow shut on these, because with RTAs they can leak. I don't seem to struggle with the Pancake Man, it's nice and thick liquid anyway. But while you're just letting that cotton prime, just keep that airflow shut, just so it doesn't dribble everywhere. And if you have got problems, you can go back and re-look at it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump back up on top, guys, so we can have vape on this. So I'm going to leave it 2 or 3 minutes to prime, and then I will join you again, and we will have a little vape on it and see what it's like. Right, guys, now we're back on top. Got the revolver all set up. I've left him for a good 3 or 4 minutes to soak that wick. Just give him a bit of a quick clean up. So this will come out at 0.42 ohms, because I think it was a 5 wrap Palladium. So I've got this currently set, I don't know if you can see that, set at 40 watt. Airflow half open, that's the way I like it. So I've got that airflow underneath the coil on that 3 strips, so the biggest ones, just a lot of air going up underneath that coil. But just got it to the half, just to restrict that airflow just that little bit. It gives me that bit more of a satisfying pull on it. As you can see, I did fill that up. I don't know if you can see very well, that cotton has soaked in a load of that juice. I haven't had a single bit of juice come out of the airflow. That was one problem I was suffering with when I first started on this. I was getting a lot of juice come out of that airflow. It's completely stopped now by the way I've been building it. So let's have a good little vape. Wow, that flavour is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love this stuff. I've already said this is Pancake Man. I get through a bottle of this a week. This is alongside all the other juice that I vape. But I've always got this one in the cupboard. This one and a Blue Slush. I can't remember which company I'm using in a minute for Blue Slush. But I do like my Blue Slush. I try and move around all the different companies to try all different Blue Slushes. But I've always got the Pancake Man. The only thing I find with this is if you are going to use this, no matter what you put in it after, it does take quite a while for the flavour of this to disappear off your coils or your wicks. So I've got a tendency, once I've used this, if I'm going to put anything else in, I'll re-wick. Just I find this flavour just lingers around. I may find it more as well, purely because I vape this so much, I can recognise this flavour. If I'm out with mates that are vaping and they've only just picked this up, and they go, oh, try that, tell me what you think it is. I'll pick this out of 1,000 liquids. I know exactly what it is. That's how much I vape it. I know that flavour. I know that smell. I can walk past someone in the street, I'm like, oh, that's Pancake Man. But anyway, less of my obsession with Pancake Man. And back to what we're talking about. So the Revolver. As I say, a lot of people struggle with it. I didn't get on with it when I first got it, but after practice, perseverance, I actually quite like it now. It's a good little RTA. It is the only RTA I used. I have tried a couple of others, and there is a couple I've got in mind to get next. But for now, I'm sticking to this one. Beautiful production, beautiful flavour. I'll possibly get away with pumping this up a little bit more. It's pumping up to 50. That's just incredible. So there you go, there you have it, guys. Sorry, cream it right out in there. That's my build on Revolver. I hope you're finding these videos helpful. Please do subscribe. Please do like these videos. I am looking to create a lot more. I do apologise for the quality of some of these videos at the minute. I am actually just using a mobile phone. I am using the S9, which has got a good camera on it. But as I get on a little bit further with this YouTube channel, I am going to invest in a proper camera and make it a little bit more professional. But hey ho, we all got to start somewhere. The reason I've started this YouTube channel is because there is things that I've been struggling with different tanks, different RTAs, different RDAs, and the tutorials haven't been out there to do it. So I've learned along the way. I've picked up little bits from here, little bits from there. I thought, oh, hell to it, let's just bang it together in some tutorial videos, and hopefully it'll help some of you guys. As I say, by all means, like this video, subscribe to my channel. I am going to try and bring out a fair few videos. I hope you find them helpful. Share them with your friends, share them with any new vapors that are looking to get into building, just looking for experience in the vaping world. As I say, I hope you'll find it helpful. So again, today we've been doing the Vandy Vape Revolver. As I said, it's not going to be a review, so I wasn't going to dig down to what was actually in the box. You all know what's under these boxes now. You get your spares, you get your tools, you get this, you get that. I think with this one you do also, yeah, you do get some pre-built fuse claps and coils. I don't rate much coils that comes with these RTAs. They're alright just to try and test it out, and I have whacked them in when I first bought tanks or RDAs. But you got to go out and get some better coils. There is loads of different people out on Facebook that are making the coils now. I've only just bashed myself a coil with some of this that I got off of Amazon the other day. Just wanted to try out, see what it's like. Not bad coil, to be fair. I'm not at the stage yet where I'm making my own coils. I want to try to eventually. But for now, I'm quite lazy. So I buy these pre-built, these pre-wrapped coils, should I say, and then just roll them, wrap them myself. So yeah. I'd say subscribe to my channel, guys. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you look forward to seeing my next video. Take it steady, guys.